And the Cowboys have called a press conference featuring Jason Witten. We will have it for you live on ESPN2. As ESPN first reported, the veteran tight end is expected to retire and join the Monday Night Football booth. The 11-time Pro Bowler ends his career as one of the best tight ends in NFL history. So let's do a pick six and take a look back at some of the best plays, the best one-handed catch, lots of great plays from Cowboys Giants. This is just amazing here, Romo to Witten, guys.
Saw it over and over for years. And again, this is something that Dak Prescott is going to miss next season.
Yeah, 14 years together for Romo and Witten. Cowboys 49ers 2017, Week 7. Here you go with Prescott. Steps up, throws to the end zone, and Witten with the beautiful one-hander. Wow.
You know, as he got older and wasn't able to run and separate the same, you just see how he did such a good job using his body. See the left hand shielding the defender, making the catch. Really good.
Game-winning touchdown. Eagles-Cowboys 2016, Week 8 in overtime. Prescott scrambles, then finds a wide open Witten in the end zone.
This is exactly where I think Dak Prescott's going to miss him the most, in the red zone, having that target. And by the way, without Dez Bryant there as well, you got to find someone. Jason Witten does it as good as anybody, and I don't care how old he was getting, he was still doing it.
You know, and I know they cut Dez and Jason's gone, but who's catching all these passes next year?
Someone's going to get to that.
Cowboys Redskins 2011, Week 11. Romo rolls out and connects, and he shows his speed.
Deep threat too, by the way. I mean, that was not a short pass.
Angelo Hall can't catch him. It's a really good play by Romo too. I mean, let's not lose sight of that. It's hard for me to ignore that. But you're right about the speed. That's the Angelo Hall.
Such a great duo.
That's a converted corner trying to chase him down.
And then making history here. Cowboys-Redskins, Monday Night Football. Matt Castle to Witten over the middle, and he dives for number 1,000.
This right here, I think it used to drive some people nuts. He did such a good job, quarterbacks love it, of fighting downhill for the ball, you know, which prevents interceptions, quite honestly. It's really good.
And we referenced this earlier because this just really defines the toughness in 2007 against the Eagles. No helmet needed.
Play with a broken jaw, play without a helmet. These are the kinds of plays that he made.
You realize how long he's been playing. That play can't exist in the NFL anymore. Helmet contact, and then he would be declared down with no helmet. That's how long he played.
He's being declared down today.
Yes, exactly.
Insane consistency. He logged at least 60 catches in 14 of his 15 NFL seasons. The only players in NFL history with more such seasons, Hall of Famer Jerry Rice and fellow tight end Tony Gonzalez. Here's an excerpt from our own E60 reporter Jeremy Schaap that exemplifies just how tough this tight end was.
Cowboys in the third round select Jason Witten, tight end from University of Tennessee.
In Dallas, Witten would play for Hall of Fame head coach Bill Parcells.
I broke my jaw in about the fourth game. He was disappointed that I wasn't going to be playing, and he told me, well, Mark Bavaro, he came back in the same game, when he broke his jaw. And
he really gave you that speech?
He did. And, he gave me a little jar of sweet potatoes, baby food, and told me, this will get you right.
His neck was so swollen. We were calling him Jay Leno the whole week, just huge. And we were scared to death. We were doing anything Coach Parcells told us to do to get ready.
Witten missed one game, the only game he has ever missed.
And it exemplifies just what a great teammate, that he is going to be there for his team no matter what. Oh
what we didn't see there, by the way, is that Parcells also told him with the sweet potatoes, you needed to keep the weight on. That's what he wanted to make sure that Witten did not drop a single pound before that game.
I think just looking at the visual of what his face looked like with the broken jaw, there's different ways to break your jaw. That one looked like it was a pretty brutal broken jaw. And so what we're saying, he missed one game, which means he was playing just a couple weeks later with a still broken jaw.
And again, that's his toughness, and that doesn't speak to the character that we addressed earlier in the show, where he's an example for all, where he has overcome all that he did to be in the position he was. His story has been well documented in the past. And again, been a credit to the game. And you know what? We're lucky that we're getting him here.
You referenced during the highlight package, how did the Cowboys fill the void?
Yeah.
Because this is a whole new era that's about to begin. Here's how the wideout depth chart looks for the Cowboys. The wide receivers led by Terrence Williams. Reports are that Tavon Austin, who was acquired last week in a trade with the Rams, maybe is more as a running back. Their tight ends include Rico Gathers, along with Blake Jarwin, Jeff Swaim. They have just 9 catches combined in their NFL careers, and actually Swaim is the only one. He's got all 9.
And you know where I think a lot of the production is going to come from? A guy that's not even on that list, Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I think that this team's going to get back to running the football behind that offensive line, and it's going to have to throw, and it will throw. But the fact of the matter is, last year he was suspended. This year he's back, and there's nobody on that list that jumps out to you that says he's going to be the dominant red zone threat. He's going to catch 90 passes. Cole Beasley will catch a lot of passes.
And I think that's the key. Cole Beasley is going to be the volume guy, but part of it, and then I think when you say, well, how do you replace Witten in the passing game? You know, I think that's how you try to replace him in the passing game, with someone operating inside like Cole Beasley does. And I think Terrence Williams, a guy who has a lot of ability, they're going to give him an opportunity. They've given him opportunities in the past, and sometimes you just need guys to understand what's going on around them, and you need them to step up. And so, you know, I think that's the other aspect of what they'll try to do with a guy that has a lot of speed. I'll say this, though. We focus, because it's just naturally that we do it, we focus so much on the passing game in terms of trying to replace him. We applaud this Dallas offensive line as this best run-blocking offensive line in the NFL. They're outstanding. They were augmented by Jason Witten, who still remained one of the best run-blocking tight ends in the game, even at the end of his career there. And so I think they're going to miss that as much as anything.
I agree with that, but without taking away from what Dez Bryant and Jason Witten have done for the offense, and this might come across as trying to sugarcoat this, but 2 years ago when Dak Prescott was so good as a rookie, if you look at the distribution, Cole Beasley was actually at the top of the list in terms of the targets. It was a much more even spread, and I felt like last year it got to the point where Dak, and again, I'm not saying that taking these guys out is going to make him better, but he seemed more comfortable 2 years ago when he wasn't trying to force it to anybody specifically, but instead just using a variable of different weapons. I feel like at the start of this season, we're actually going to see more of that than maybe we did last year. So it's not addition by subtraction, because we shouldn't take away from Witten or Dez, but in terms of Dak's ability, I think we could see some progress.
Look, the league has been built on this, and the expression I always hear from personnel people is progress stoppers. And as great as Jason Witten and Dez Bryant were, they were progress stoppers to other young players on that team. So when they're gone, it gives other people the chance to throw. I remember back in the day when I was covering the Denver Broncos on a day-to-day basis, there was one off season in which they got rid of Anthony Miller, who was a perennial Pro Bowl wide receiver, and Mike Pritchard, they traded a first-round draft pick for. And everyone said, well, how are they going to replace him? And they had these 2 young, unknown guys named Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith. How'd that work out?
Right, worked out. That's right. Someone's going to have to step up, though, by the way. And, I mean, look at Miles Austin. I saw Tony Romo saying the other day, like, hey, you know, before that season, we didn't expect Miles Austin to come in there. The question becomes midway through the season, how these guys, how at Terrence Williams, if he starts seeing double coverage, if he can still continue to make progress. Early on, I think Dak Prescott will be successful, even without Dez and without Witten. It's how he handles it later on once they're on film.
Look, a lot of times, this is not an insult to Jason Witten or Dez Bryant, but there's addition by subtraction. And some of these guys can get opportunities that they haven't had before, and I guarantee you that some of these guys will be up to that.
Cole Beasley, man, he's going to get some balls thrown out.
They get the opportunity on the field and off, just in terms of leadership. This is it's Dak's team, it's Zeke's team.
Jason Witten, though, by the way, was the quiet, stoic leader where you looked over and that's how you wanted to work. So from that,
yeah, the leadership void's going to be significant. I mean, you just said their leaders are going to be Dak and Zeke now. I mean, listen, I think Dak can handle it. I think Zeke as a leader of your team, that's a big change from Jason Witten.
A big challenge.
Again, press conference, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have it for you on ESPN2. Rolling on here on NFL Live, it's time to evaluate the NFC South. Which offseason additions will produce an immediate impact, and which are we still questioning? It's coming up.
Every day, I push myself to be better. Every day, I make choices. Every day, I bring the hustle. And Oikos 000 Greek non-fat yogurt helps me fuel it. It's got more of what I want, like 15 grams of protein, and less of what I don't, like added sugar. Because every decision and every moment matters. Oikos, fuel your hustle.
Each day, Justin chooses to walk. At work and after work. He does it all with Dr. Scholl's. Only Dr. Scholl's has massaging gel insoles that provide all-day comfort to keep him feeling more energized. Dr. Scholl's Born to Move.
I'm very sorry.
And we're going to get the phone, his phone, out of you.
The important thing is that we're going to make you better.